Welcome to The Snack, a lighter serving of Girls Gotta Eat.
This is a Dear Media production.
Enjoy.
Hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
What's been up?
I am down bad. We're going to talk about it for Monday's episode. We have limited time today. We have a guest.
Did you have to go to a doctor's appointment?
I have to go to the doctor, and I will talk about it tomorrow, what happened.
When you're emotionally ready.
No, I'm just like... This is good though. When you're in pain, like you have to do something to like take your mind off of it.
The best medicine is laughter.
Truly, but like it's just I don't know. That's always how I felt. Like if you just kind of lay around, you focus on it. So I'm like, I should definitely record a podcast. I'm in a ton of pain.
That was me last week. I had the sciatic nerve damage.
Yeah.
I was like, I can't sit here any longer.
I know.
I'll record 2 hours of a podcast.
I mean, you can obviously do painkillers and rest, but I don't want to do painkillers because I have to go get an incision today. We'll talk about it. We will talk about it.
I have so many painkillers at home. Like I meant to tell you that. It's probably like not legal for me to like give you them. But I've had so many surgeries and I've never taken them and they always give me a bottle of them. So catch me selling drugs on the corner.
Raina's offering, you guys. If you guys want to slide to the DMs.
Yeah, if you guys are looking for like
Raina's got opioids to sell.
All right, let's thank our partners. We'll get right into it. Thanks to Quince. Get free shipping and 365-day returns on your next order at quince.com/GGE. And BetterHelp. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/GGE.
Thank you to Boll & Branch. Get 15% off and free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com/GGE. And Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order at liquidiv.com with code GGE.
I am foaming at the mouth to get into this.
So we're going to open this with a space report, a planetary report.
All female Blue Origin space launch. So these ladies went to space. It's all over the news. It was headed by Lauren Sanchez, who's Jeff Bezos' fiance. Katy Perry was there. Gayle King.
Which if you guys are like fans of the podcast, we went on Gail's show, and then also, as of recently, Shan Boudram said Raina should hook up with Gail.
I forgot that.
Anyway, continue.
So when I first heard that there was like an all-female crew going to space, I thought, number one, that this would take a really long time. I thought you'd like train to go to space. This could take years for the average person. I thought like, how's Katy Perry going to find the time?
Go to Mars or the moon?
Yeah, I thought it would. I mean, how is Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez going to take time off of their busy schedule sucking Elon Musk's dick to learn how to be an astronaut? I didn't know.
Yeah, anybody can go to space.
But little did all of us know it was going to be for 10 minutes. I didn't know it was just like your boyfriend was just going to like buy you a rocket ship to go up into the air for 10 minutes and come right back.
They just went out to spin the block. They literally just were. 10 minutes is wild. Also, I do want to interject and say that there were 2 people on that flight. Right? Flight?
It's shorter than a hot air balloon ride.
Yeah. Trip. It's I haven't even taken a Peloton class that short, but there were 2 people that had like credentials, but they're not getting any attention.
Right.
There was a real astronaut on it, a scientist. Yeah. But obviously nobody's talking about them. And like, I have to wonder, did they like being associated with these celebrities because everybody's talking about the celebrities? I mean, I have so much to say, and I have mixed feelings on it, and I get new information. I change my mind, and it is getting so much media attention.
I mean, I can't stop laughing about it. And I guess the way that like Lauren Sanchez and Katy Perry have framed it is what's making me laugh the most. I think space is cool as fuck. I went to space camp as a kid.
Technological advances, all this is amazing.
So cool that we can send somebody. What I don't think is that it's some big female empowerment movement. So I would like to read you Lauren Sanchez's quote.
Don't get me started on this fucking quote.
She is honored to lead a team of explorers on a mission that will challenge their perspectives of Earth, empower them to share their own stories, and create lasting impacts that will inspire generations to come. Your boyfriend just bought you like a roller coaster ride.
Well, she also said like the way that it felt when they were up there, they felt so unified. And if everyone could just feel like that and have this type of peace and unity. I was like, your fiance is complicit in single-handedly ruining this country. Truly. And ripping away women's rights. You know that your man is part of that. You know, he sat front row at the inauguration. You know, he donated money. Like, that's the hypocrisy for me. It's so sick.
It's so, I mean, just let's not make this into something it's not, you know? Like, they were up in space chanting, take up space. And It's just,
when they came up with that, they were like, fucking nailed it.
Nailed it.
They're like, this is going to go viral. Yes, it did, for all the wrong reasons.
It's so cringe. You didn't need to like turn this into something it wasn't. It's just this cool thing that you did. It's awesome. The fashion was cute.
Listen, I hate that people are knocking the glam and the fashion. Why not? Why? No one should ever shade women for doing anything when and looking good doing it. I didn't know I wanted to go to space. This looked dope as hell. That free fall, those type of rides were like my favorite rides. Like I went on the Tower of Terror in Disney World 3 times in a row. I love that feeling. They're screaming, like you get to go up and see the Earth from the top. I mean, you don't see it looking like a sphere. You're barely at the line. I think it's called the Kármán line.
It's called the Kármán line, and they went 66 miles into space,
like,
technically.
They felt zero gravity. They were close to the moon. Like, I do think you gain this incredible perspective. It's so invaluable. Like, why would you not do it if it's available? But I think the way that it's been positioned is really rubbing people the wrong way for a ton of reasons.
Yeah, this is just not some like female empowerment movement to me. It's just like a cool thing you did, a very cool thing you did. But it doesn't like make me think like women can do anything. If you just dream big enough, like stop.
If you just marry someone rich enough. I mean, I think I have so many different feelings on this. Like my two main feelings are rich people are going to rich. Like people buy cars that cost more than people's homes. People buy bags that cost more than someone's annual salary. Like people fly around in private jets. Your faves do. They're not doing the environment any favors. Like the whole, like you could have done so much with that money. You could say that about anything. I mean, this is a narrative we always hear when you see rich people doing opulent things. You know, if all these celebrities decide to take a yacht around the world for the same ticket price, like would anyone care? It was just going to space hits different. And I think that more than ever, people are really rejecting the flaunting of wealth. And I think it's all associated with like all these problems we have, the oligarchy that's happening in the government. It just feels like we're really over the ultra rich flaunting this in our face. I think wealth hoarding is a disease. I think Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, all of them, like this just ties into all of that. And I don't want to get too deep with it, but I've been feeling like this for a while where like, we're over this, I think. Most of us are over this like flaunting of wealth. This couldn't have been a worse time to do this. Like the optics of it. I think a few years back, this wouldn't have gotten the criticism it's getting now. Like the time that this is happening, the state of the world, people are like, fuck all of y'all. And don't you dare try to bring women's rights into this.
I didn't even really think about it like that. And I think that this is a week specifically where so many small to medium businesses around the globe and all these business owners are really struggling and they're terrified of what these political decisions are going to mean for them. So it's a weird time to do this.
Yeah.
And, you know, it wasn't that this pushed forward any advances, I guess, or I don't feel like empowered. They sent this like female crew. Women have been going to space. These women didn't break the barriers of anything.
There hasn't been an all-women crew in a really long time. But this wasn't NASA sending a bunch of female astronauts into space. I mean, haven't men also done this Blue Origin thing? I mean, men have been going to space and they don't get criticized like this. I always feel like when it's just extra vitriol towards women, it bothers me. But like,
I would make fun of it more if it was all men. I just don't like this like female empowerment angle. I think it's so stupid.
Yes,
you said, at a time like right now where so many people are hurting and struggling, it's not the week to do it.
Yeah, I know. And I think it's insulting to people who've lost their jobs in those fields. You know, there's just so many different layers of why this was the worst time. And did they try to get PR surrounding this? Like, could they not have just, I think this was like a publicity stunt for Blue Origin. Like, why was it so much attention? Like, it was being talked about weeks in advance, and then all these other celebrities, Olivia Munn, Olivia Wilde, Emrata, they're all weighing in and, you know, saying how bad this looks and how they're just so against it. And it's just like, did it need to get this much PR? Like, was there like a campaign about this, or did people just find out about it and latch on?
I mean, I think it's a really big deal. I think these are huge celebrities. I think, you know, when they landed, the Kardashians were all there. I think Jeff Bezos,
what TV
Oprah was
show
there.
is this country?
Like, Oprah was there. Katy Perry gets off. She's holding this little daisy she took up to space with her. She's kissing the ground. Lauren Sanchez is crying, "Where are my babies? Where are my children?"
You see your babies?
Where are my babies?
They're over here. Go see them.
Jeff Bezos face planted trying to get to her.
I mean, that was
when
so
he
funny.
fell. I came.
I know. So I think that like it was never not going to get so much press, and it's all women. I think people do like that, and we took men out of the mix. How are they going to survive up there without the men? And they did it, and they took up space. It's just it's weird. It's weird to me.
Yeah, so much of it was so cringe. This is not helping Katy Perry's career. I will tell you that. I think she literally just launched her career off the map. Like, this is when she kissed the ground. I can't stop thinking about it. I think that my initial thoughts were she was like so happy to be back on Earth after 10 minutes. And I was like, I cannot comprehend the performativeness of this and the cringe of this. But I think it was more like, I love the Earth. We just saw it from this certain vantage point, and like, I love Mother Earth. It doesn't matter. What the fuck? Gail, though, the Gail memes are sending me because she was really scared to fly. And so when she rang that bell and like walked in, like the Gail memes are insane.
All the memes are insane. I mean, I love the ones that are like me after I leave my house for 10 minutes. Katy Perry's kissing the floor. That's how I feel when I get home from literally anything. I just like thank the walls for being there.
Yeah, I love this post from Girl Boss, and it's just like a carousel, and it was just like, did the all-women Blue Origin space trip feel off to anyone else? One small step for womankind and one big leap for wasting precious resources. And they said this was one big influencer trip.
I mean, that's basically what I was like, the Tarte influencer trip.
Yeah, like, just don't say this was like Mother Earth, saving Mother Earth. I mean, all the celebrities spoke out, like I mentioned, the Olivias and Emrata and these people. But I don't know. I saw a take this morning. This came from Kristen on The Burt Show, which is out of Atlanta, which I love them. And I used to work with them when I lived there a little bit. And she was like, do you think there's little girls who see this and feel inspired to get into space? And it's like, maybe. But like, again, this wasn't a female empowerment mission. And I would have loved to see a bunch of female astronauts still in the designer suits,
Absolutely.
like going up and doing this, like all of it felt like so just out of touch in our current climate. And I would love in an alternative world to see if this would have happened a few years back, or I don't know, in like 2014, when the world wasn't falling apart, if people would have been like, that's kind of dope.
I mean, just call it what it is. I wish that the people there would have been like, we did it because it was fun. Like, I don't subscribe to the, like, this money could have been spent elsewhere. I don't have receipts on what the rest of those people donate to charity, how they spend their time. I have no idea. Maybe they are spending a ton of money on charity and helping other people. I have no clue.
And you can say that about anything,
but
all
like,
the time.
Right. So I don't subscribe to that either. But let's not make this like a female empowerment thing. We've been sending women to space. Women are astronauts. Women work for NASA. Women have run for president. I think we've done a lot of things to teach little girls that they can be anything when they grow up. I think you and I really want to like dedicate our lives to that as well. Mm-hmm. You can grow up and have a sex toy company and a podcast if you want to. This is not that thing. And don't pretend it is.
And terrible timing.
Couldn't be worse.
Like the way that people have latched onto this. And again, at the end of the day, this looked dope. And rich people get to do things like that.
Yeah, call it that. I think I saw like 3 or 4 posts about it yesterday before it washed over me that this was less than 11 minutes. I thought it was a typo.
So I
thought I was misunderstanding it.
Yeah, I kept thinking, what did they do up there? Nothing. I mean, they took a picture and said, take up space. And
Katy Perry song. They all put their hands.
Okay, can I run something by you?
Yeah.
I know people didn't love her last album, and there was a lot of panning of it. Remember when you taught me the word pan? Uh-huh. But there's a lot of like Katy Perry singing was the worst thing. Like, I thought we all agreed Katy Perry has an amazing voice. Try to sing Roar right now, anybody listening. Like, I have long been a fan of her talent and vocals.
I totally agree.
Regardless of her last album or whatever.
I like her music. It's fun to dance around the house to. I like to listen to her. I think she has a great voice. I think she's a good entertainer.
But then, of course, she had to be like, it's not about me. It's about the world. And sang It's a Wonderful World. Bitch, sing Roar.
Yeah. Literally.
Or what is it?
Firework?
No.
You think she can't?
E.T. extraterrestrial.
Like, she has a lot of songs that play in space.
Like, she should have done a set list up there.
Babe, you're a firework in a rocket ship.
Seriously, like, if we could have gotten a Roar firework E.T. compilation in space, iconic.
Insane.
Instead, she had to be all like, fake humility about it.
She missed the moment for me.
She did. She did miss the moment. I think this is it for her. Like, this did not help her career. It's just, what a time we're living in. Chris and Chloe on the ground. Like, I'm like, what are we watching? I don't feel like this is real life.
They got Oprah there. This is the most star-studded moon landing I've ever seen. Where are my babies?
Dad. What's worse, the kissing the ground or the where am I baby?
That.
Okay, well, that is our space report. It was just one thing. I like to have 3 things for a report, but that's what it had to be.
I could tell jokes about this. I could do a whole episode on this. The memes, the companies that jumped in.
I know. There's so much more. Maybe we'll do space part 2 next week if it's still going. But this is a little bit different type of episode too, because we have Deux Moi coming on. But let's just talk about some partners, and then we will get back into it. I am telling you guys about Boll & Branch. I am just so obsessed. I just get more obsessed every time I sleep on these sheets. They are so incredible. They're so soft, so high quality. Their signature sheets are made with the finest 100% organic cotton. You can spend every night in the softest feeling imaginable. Just this morning, my fiance and I was like, maybe we try to get up earlier. Like, we lay in bed too long. Which is so nice.
You suggested getting up earlier.
Yes, I was like, let's get up earlier, because like it's, I don't, whatever. I was like, maybe we try to work out in the morning. Like, I don't know. So and he was like, this bed is so comfortable. I'm like, it's a problem.
I couldn't get out of bed this morning because I washed my Boll & Branch sheets last night. They can, some sheets like don't hold up like with the washes. They stay so soft, so silky. And like, I couldn't get out of bed this morning. I like revel in staying in my bed. I have their duvet cover. I have a blanket of theirs.
Yes.
I have the waffle blanket.
So the waffle blanket, Raina and I just both got the waffle blanket. Obsessed. I'm obsessed the way it looks, like that texture on my bed. And then we keep that at the end of the bed. So Azul's on that. It's really easy to get his hair off of it. I don't know if you have dogs. Like, we've been keeping Azul on the waffle blanket, and like, it has really preserved the bed in like a totally new way. So we just are so obsessed, you guys. This is like truly our fave. The quality, the way they feel, the way they wash. I mean, they're incredible. So we love that waffle blanket. We love the sheets. And you can try Boll & Branch sheets for an entire month. There's a 30-night worry-free guarantee, no catch. If you don't get your best night's sleep, you can send them back for a full refund, but you will. So feel the difference an extraordinary night's sleep can make with Boll & Branch. Get 15% off plus free shipping on your first set of sheets at bollandbranch.com/GGE. That's Boll & Branch, BOLLAND, branch.com/GGE to save 15%. Exclusions apply. See site for details.
Okay, and vacation season is nearly upon us. This year, we are treating ourselves to luxe upgrades with Quince's high-quality travel essentials at fair prices. We have said this honestly for years since we've partnered with them. I am constantly impressed by the quality of what you get for the price. It's unbelievable. I shop there all winter. It's great for basics. And for summer, they have tons of linen, which I'm loving. So if you guys just really want to upgrade just your travel game in general, they have great sandals. They have great luggage, really cute stuff for summer. I'm really into these linen sets that they're doing. And I just bought this pair of sneakers, these eco cotton canvas everyday sneakers. Yeah, I wanted just like a white.
Wait, I'm gonna get them. I need a new just white sneaker. Okay, say less.
I love Josh.
I love them.
I just really wanted something to go with like summery dresses, and I have these leather sneakers that I wear all the time, but I just wanted to do something cotton. So I really like those. You can shop sunglasses, beach bags, just really upgrade your vacation style. And everything on Quince is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands, and I stand behind that their stuff is great. They source directly from top factories, and they cut out the cost of the middleman, and they only work with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices. I mean, check it out for your summer travel, you guys. I am constantly impressed by what they have. For your next trip, treat yourself to the luxe upgrades you deserve from Quince. Go to quince.com/GGE for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's QUINCE.com/GGE to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/GGE.
Okay, Karen Reed.
There's a lot of TV out now.
We're
going to do some racks.
We're going to get into it. You guys have been wanting racks. I got a book to throw in, so don't worry. But so this trial, there is an HBO documentary called Body in the Snow, the Karen Reed trial. I just want to say this happened in Massachusetts, and I don't know that so many people knew about it nationally, but I was in Boston in the summer when she was on trial the first time. She's about to start her second trial. And it was just, to be there, it was all everyone was talking about. Like, I'd be in an Uber, they had it on the radio. Like, I was like, I am in it. So I've known about this for so long, and this documentary came out. And basically, this Boston police officer died, and he was found on the lawn in the snow of this other cop's house. And his girlfriend, Karen Reed, was accused of hitting him with her car and killing him. And she is saying she was framed, and there was these other people in the house. There was a party happening. Everyone was drunk. Everyone had been driving drunk. And that's kind of the TLDR of it all. But it's so gripping. It's a crazy fucking story.
It's a crazy story. It's 6 episodes. Every single episode, you learn more stuff.
She's made it, basically. She's like,
she produced it. She's the star. And there's no spoilers. I mean, it was a hung jury, and she's going back to trial now in April, right now. So they're retrying her. So this is not like a spoiler. You can just look it up on the news. But
like, if you don't know and you want to be surprised, because I had forgotten some stuff, then there are spoilers. But yes, it's an actual news thing you can read about.
So the whole time you're oscillating back and forth between basically, did she do it?
No.
Was she so drunk she forgot she hit her boyfriend, or was she framed? And you and I went back and forth because, like, if she was framed, every person in the house was in on it. The police department is in on it. I mean, you're talking about like 8 or 9 people that are in on this, having lied for 2 years at this point, since 2.5 years, which I find so shocking that like that many people can keep a secret.
I don't.
Because listen, in the mafia, the first rule of like how do 2 people keep a secret, you kill one of them.
But I just think like there's so much corruption in so many different police departments and groups of people. Dozens of people can keep a fucking secret, or government. So I absolutely do not think she killed him. I think the evidence is so clear. Logistically, how could she even have done it? His bodily injuries are not those of a vehicular accident. The scratches on his arm are clearly from a dog. Like, there's this one part where they're trying to say that the scratches on his arm came from a cocktail glass I was like, that's the most insane thing I've ever heard. Like,
yes.
It is not physically possible. And even if she did bump him with her car drunkenly, this big, strong cop could have gotten to the house. He wouldn't have just laid there and died in the snow. Like, there's so many different things where I'm like screaming, like, there's no way she did this. And I don't, on the other side, you have those groups of people making up all this stuff about these butt dials, and there's all this other stuff. And there's so many different layers to it. We can't unpack it all today, but their side is so far-fetched. Yes, the framing feels a little far-fetched too, but all I stand by is she couldn't have done this.
I find it so fascinating because there's so much contradictory evidence that she couldn't have done this. I mean, another one of the things that they will unpack in the documentary is that her taillight was broken. Yeah. And I said to you, I don't think a human being could have broken that. And you asked your fiance who works in cars, and he said, absolutely not. I mean, you would have had to hit somebody so hard. And I still don't think somebody's body could have shattered a taillight.
They also show her hitting his car and cracking the taillight.
There's so much contradictory evidence. And what I find so interesting in these types of cases is when there's a mountain of contradictory evidence, the injuries are not consistent with having been hit by a car. Like you said, they can't even prove that that's how he died. They're not even, but they've chosen to like not investigate it. It's like they've gotten their teeth into this woman. Yeah. They're like, she's the easiest thing to prosecute, even though every fact points to she could not possibly have done this. But they're not investigating alternative options, which I don't understand. Like, throughout the case, she said, I wanted them to explain to me, how could he possibly have died from me hitting him with the car? You look at his body. There's no blunt force trauma.
There isn't on his head. He got beat up.
Yes.
What, someone said they saw the body? It looks like he went 8 rounds with Tyson. Like, he got beat up and attacked by a dog.
There's so clearly dog
The dog thing makes me feel crazy. I will say, her fucking legal team makes me horny. Her roster is so stacked. I think most of those guys are from LA. Like, she has built out the hottest, smartest, like, most talented legal team. Like, watching them, so sexy. Like, watching them do what they do. I mean, it makes me wish I would have been a lawyer. Like, it's the one thing
the thing I think you should do. Like, if you weren't doing this, I obviously think you should be like a CIA agent.
But I feel inspired watching attorneys who are that good at what they do, especially compared to the other side. Those people are like a hot mess, the prosecuting attorneys. But she added more to the roster. She owes like $5 million in legal fees.
Oh my God.
Which then I got to wonder, how much did HBO buy the documentary for? Like, that was smart. If she was like, I'm going to make these documentaries to pay for the legal fees. I don't know if that's what she's doing. I tried to find it and I couldn't. But yeah, so they're just right now as we record, wrapping up, picking, I think, the final juror. I think they're picking like the 16th juror, and it's already getting so much attention. I mean, you can't go into this unbiased. And I mean, she faces life in prison this time around, and she's trying to say this is like double jeopardy and they can't try her again. I mean, it's just wild.
They're trying to come up with a motive, and they're saying that he was kind of trying to break up with her, and they had this really tumultuous relationship. And there are voice I mean, there's a lot of voice recordings and text messages that they make people read out loud that are so insane.
You guys don't even. Like, my jaw
I would watch it just for that. They made this cop read these text messages. I think you're sexy too. and then I said, "What you think about me? I've been thinking you was sexy since the jump."
Oh, my butt hurts. That's such a good. When they were reading, it took me a minute to process that he was reading the text that he sent. I was like, this cannot be happening. And then there's these other texts that are like so gross and like slut shaming. And it's crazy that this investigator was texting with a group chat about the case. It makes you realize just how invincible some of these cops think they are. And I mean, it has divided this community. And I like to see that people are pushing back on police corruption and supporting this woman. And I can't get enough of it.
And one thing that they said that I thought was so interesting, I don't remember if she said it or somebody else, but she said, supposedly my motive is that my boyfriend and I were fighting with each other and saying crazy shit to each other. And she said, like, if that's a motive for murder, then half the women in America could be on trial today. I mean, how many people had a fight with their boyfriend like that this morning? And their fights are crazy. They are. But like, it's a huge leap to think that she hit him with her car and left him to die, by the way, on a cop's lawn.
Yeah, where he was on the lawn, whatever. But like, she's not a perfect victim. She was wasted.
Yeah.
She was screaming. She was mad. So, I mean, but then you watched her reactions when she realized he was dead, and that is not somebody who killed him.
I know.
Oh, God.
You guys got to watch this.
Yes.
Ashley and I are just like hung on every word. We loved it so much. A few other things out this week. The Valley came out. I've not watched it yet because we're recording before. But there's just been like a ton of news out of that. And Brittany Cartwright just gave a great interview with People magazine about her status with Jax Taylor, and she announced that their son was autistic, and she's talking about fighting for him and being his voice. It was a beautiful interview. So I'm looking forward to watching the season. We'll talk about it next week, maybe have a guest on, but that's out right now. And the fourth and I think final season of Righteous Gemstones. So if you are missing Rick from White Lotus,
Walton Goggins,
Walter, he's one of the stars of Righteous Gemstones, and he's naked a bunch.
Oh,
it might be a
full frontal?
Full frontal.
Oh my God.
A bunch. So I don't know if it's a prosthetic. It is huge.
Okay. I did not see that coming. I didn't know about it.
And Megan Mullany is on this season, and she's just fantastic. So I love the show. It's one of my favorites. Fourth and final season.
Okay. Love on the Spectrum is back. A new season I haven't watched yet, but that's on my list. And Survival of the Thickest, starring Michelle Buteau, is also on Netflix, season 2. I love season 1. I'm obsessed with the show, so I cannot wait to get into that. I'm midway through Dying for Sex. We've talked about it a lot. I am really enjoying that. And then Hacks, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. Season 4, 2 episodes are out, and I like it. I always like it. The writing is brilliant. It's funny. These 2 episodes were not my favorite, because Deborah and Ava are just so at odds, and I like it more when they're getting along. And I get that that's the story, that's the conflict, and that's the roller coaster that you're on. And I think they're about to kind of be in a better place going forward. And I like what they did. I love the show. So anyway, Hacks is back. I am reading a book called All Fours by Miranda Joy. This was recommended to us by someone we met when we were at South by Southwest. And it is a very polarizing book. I posted a photo that it showed it when I was on the plane recently, and people were like, you have to talk about what you think about this book. And it's about this woman. She's kind of having like a midlife crisis, essentially. She's married, she has a kid, she goes on this road trip, she pulls across the country, she pulls off 30 minutes outside of LA and stays in this hotel, and some sexual experiences transpire. I mean, I will let you guys know what I think. I'm still unsure, but I'm reading it and I'm enjoying it, but I can see why people didn't like it. My mom didn't like it because she didn't like the protagonist, and you got to be pretty sexually open also to read. It's very detailed. It's very descriptive.
I mean, you sent me a photo while you were sitting across from me in a plane. It was so dirty and graphic. And I was like, I can't believe she should sit next to me reading this.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people don't like the character. I don't know. I want to read more about it, but I haven't been reading too much about it because I don't want spoilers. And so anyway, all fours.
It's hard for me to stay engaged with a character that I'm not rooting for.
I'm not saying I dislike her.
Okay.
I can't decide. I think she is a flawed person. Guys, I don't know. If you've read it and you're like, she's the worst, she's a narcissist, this and that, then I just can't. I don't know yet, but I want her to figure it out. I don't know. She loves her kid. I don't know. Well,
all right. Well, you'll get with me when you're done. I mean, I felt that way kind of about the 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, where I was like, I don't know. This is a person who's struggling with something, and I understand why she makes the decisions that she does. Yeah. And I understand it's set at a certain time period. It's about a actress in the 50s who married 7 men. I understand why she did what she did, but I the whole time I didn't really know if I rooted for this person because she's just kind of like using and manipulating a lot of these people, and I wasn't like, go girl, down with it, you know. I just finished 2 books that I really like. The Wedding People. It's a novel by Allison.
You got to give it to me.
Espach. It's about a woman who goes to Rhode Island to stay at this hotel to kind of like process her divorce, and she ends up the only guest at the hotel who's not part of this wedding.
It's so hot right now, this book.
Oh, I mean, I love it, and it's deeper and more meaningful than I ever expected it to be. It sounded like just maybe like a summer reading book, and it is. But there's a lot of themes that I think are really great about what we want and the life that we choose. And then I just finished The Grace Year. It's by Kim Liggett, and it's the perfect mixture of The Hunger Games and Lord of the Flies. It's basically a dystopian society. They send these girls into the woods to basically fend for themselves for 1 year when they're 16 to release their magic. It's all about like misogyny and the patriarchy.
Oh, okay.
And, I love them both. They're both great books.
And I will say, I have not purchased anything from Amazon in a long time. I feel like this is relevant because of what we're talking about with Jeff Bezos and everything. And I am getting all my books at the bookstore. I love a trip to the bookstore. I went to the bookstore and was like, I went with my fiance. I bought 5 books. He was like, "Are you okay?"
That's what I do. Yeah. I gotta get a haul.
And it's called Zibby's. It's on Montana Avenue in Santa Monica, and that's where I've been getting my books. I was just thinking, I was like, I have not had an Amazon delivery in a long time. I'm actively trying not to. And so I've really been doing it.
It sucks because there's just a lot of small businesses that sell on Amazon.
Go buy
so
books
I'm always like,
it's a fun thing to do.
Yeah, I love a bookstore.
I love a fucking bookstore.
I can't get enough.
I mean, my mom was a librarian. Like, I'm such a book slut, but God, I love it. And Zibby's is like designed for. I can tell it's like designed for women. They like the categories are very like what women would want in books. Like, it's not like fiction, nonfiction. It's just like summer romance, like brokenhearted, get your groove back.
Stuff. I gotta get over there because there's good stuff. The new H&H Bagel is over there. Yeah. Breadhead is over there. There's good sandwiches on that block.
Yeah,
it's Sonia Toscano.
Sonia Toscano. Yeah,
lots of good sandwiches on that block.
So sandwiches. Okay, well, let's just talk about our remaining partners and we will get into it. I am telling you guys about Liquid IV. I just love this so much, and this show is sponsored by Liquid IV. The summer is going to be sponsored by Liquid IV. You can't have a summer without Liquid IV. I feel like it's all year round.
You can't have a summer or a wedding. It's not sponsored by Liquid IV.
Exactly, or a birthday party. Are you going to do it you're going to have some at the house for Rainapalooza.
Damn it, now I need to plan gift bags. Okay, Liquid IV is going in those.
Tessa, that's on you. I'm just kidding. So this is your must-have hydration powered by LIV Hydroscience. And this is going to just hydrate you so much better than drinking a glass of water would. You just rip open this packet, you put it in 16 ounces of water and drink that. We love the flavors. I've always loved the lemon lime. I mean, they put out new flavors and that I love, but I still stand by that is always my favorite. There's a pina colada, there's a guava that I also love, and then they have sugar-free flavors as well, like raspberry lemonade, white peach, rainbow sherbet. And this is just going to help keep you hydrated during those long days. You're going to be outside more in the heat, doing stuff this summer, and you're going to get those electrolytes you need, 8 essential vitamins and nutrients, always non-GMO, vegan, gluten-free, dairy-free, and soy-free. Okay, so you can break the mold and own your ritual. Again, just 1 stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. So ready up for a long day with extraordinary hydration from Liquid IV. Get 20% off your first order of Liquid IV when you go to liquidiv.com and use code GGE at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code GGE at liquidiv.com.
Okay, and this show is sponsored by BetterHelp. So let's talk about cost. Obviously, traditional therapy can be really cost prohibitive for a lot of people. So it can be anywhere from $100 to $250 a session, and that obviously really adds up fast. But with BetterHelp Online Therapy, you can save an average of up to 50% per session, which we love. And you pay a flat fee for weekly sessions. It'll save you big on cost and time. And BetterHelp feels like therapy should be accessible, not a luxury, and so do I. Every time I have like a therapy session, I just feel like just to get the emotions out of my body. And I'm not somebody that I don't live with a lot of anxiety or trouble sleeping, but like anybody else, there's forks in the road. I want to think about my job. I want to think about my relationships.
Huh? Not the fork in the road.
I'm hungry. Just thinking about forks. I forgot a fork today. But whatever you want to address, dating, relationships, your professional life, or anything to empower you to be a better version of yourself, it should be affordable. So with over 30,000 therapists, BetterHelp is the world's largest online therapy platform, having served over 5 million people globally. It's convenient. You can join a session with the click of a button, helping you fit therapy into your busy life, plus switch therapists at any time. Your well-being is worth it. Visit betterhelp.com/GGE to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/GGE.
Okay, let's get into it with Deux Moi.
All right, guys, we have a very special guest for the snack this week. She is my number one, and probably the United States' curator of pop culture and celebrity gossip. I mean, who's better? She is the host of Do You podcast. She is Deux Moi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for being here. We have heard such nice things about recording with you, and we're so excited to have you.
We really are. I mean, it feels surreal. It's just weird when you're just on someone's Instagram and then they just come into your life in real life, sort of. So we're really happy to have you.
Thanks.
When did you start the account Deux Moi, and when did it really blow up?
In 2020, during quarantine.
I figured. That's when we all blew up.
Yeah, I know. It's so crazy because if you think about it, exactly. So many people blew up during that time, and hopefully, knock on wood, it'll never happen again. Right. We're all forced to be stuck indoors. And I really feel like, and I've said this, if that never happened, the account wouldn't ever have took off. Because I would have been working because I had a job.
Okay.
But then at that time, no one was out. So was it a little bit different? I can't remember when I started following you probably, but during quarantine, nobody was out at restaurants being spotted. So it was a different type of content.
Exactly. It was like campsite fire stories. We all were virtually sitting around a campfire or at a friend's sleepover, just talking shit and telling stories. It was information and intel as old as 15 years, but people didn't care.
Yeah.
They just enjoyed reading what was being posted and having something to distract themselves from what was going on, which was COVID at the time. And as the world started getting back to normal, the account obviously shifted as well. And that's how Spotted's came to be, which is now known as Sunday Spotted, because people were so excited to see other people out and about, specifically in New York. I think Hugh Jackman was actually one of the first sightings. People were so excited to see people out at restaurants, out on the street, that's literally how Spotted started. And I would post them more in real time then, and they would be posted one per slide. It got to the point where people were saying, your account is all sightings. This sucks. So I said, okay, I'll save them for a week and I'll do a Sunday Spotted.
Brilliant.
Okay, so you themed Sundays.
Everything's brilliant. I remember hearing about it. Remember someone's like, you got to check this out. And I was like, is this real?
I know.
We just get to read this.
It's just, you really have your finger on the pulse. And what gives me a lot of stress is thinking about your inbox. And I'm sure that you have somebody that helps you or several people.
I don't.
But
I don't have anyone. Yeah.
Really?
So for people that don't know, I mean, you post dozens of clips and hundreds of stories. It's all celeb gossip, obviously. But how do you sort through this?
It's a 24/7 type job. You don't really get to shut down or turn off because it is. So as I was saying, as the world started to get back to normal, the account changed. And in January, I believe, of 2021, I started getting real-time tips. And it was that Harry Styles was dating Olivia Wilde, Zoe was dating Channing Tatum, Kim and Kanye were getting divorced. Kendall was launching 818. This was all within like a 30-day period that immediately as the world got back to normal, like I've always kind of posted and published what the audience was feeding me, right? So that's what they were feeding me. They started just, sending in tips about stuff that was really happening. And that's how it became more of what it is today. But that's definitely, as you mentioned, not what it started out to be. It started out to be just like old stories about celebrities. So I manage it mainly through my inbox. Obviously, I've been doing this for over 5 years at this point. So I have my own, sort of group of people and sources that I can go to verify certain information, not all information. Like sometimes I get asked the most random questions about the most niche celebrities, and those are much harder to answer. And I do use the crowdsourcing model to answer them. The bigger of a celebrity you are, the more A-list you are, the easier it is to get information about you.
Okay, because there's just so many people around those people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, it's just been a learning process, really.
I wanted to ask you personally, like if you prefer huge A-list celebrity gossip or niche, or I guess, do you love it all? It's all the same to you? Because I always wonder, it's like people just go crazy for the Taylor, Travis, all of that. But we personally prefer like niche way drama. More niche stuff, like that feels more relatable sometimes. So do you ever struggle with like, I got to cover the giant names because my audience wants that? Or do you just, I'm just curious your take on that. Big versus small.
Yeah. I literally cover who the people are asking about. And obviously they're always asking about Taylor and Travis.
I'm going to ask you about it later.
Okay. But me personally, I prefer either the celebrities that I'm interested in based on what I'm watching at that moment or more niche celebrities.
Yeah.
So that's me personally, but obviously I have to cater to my audience. So it is a lot of Bieber stuff. It is a lot of Taylor and Travis. I'm trying to think, Kylie and Timothy. Sometimes the biggest and youngest fan bases, their voices are the loudest. So they are the ones who are like always in the Q&A, always in the inbox, always sending emails. So I do tend to get stuck in a rut and covering the same people. And then I have to remand myself,
there's a world out there.
Yeah. Or I get really excited when somebody asks about somebody different.
Totally.
Yeah, that's basically the process though. It's just, I just go wherever the audience takes me.
Okay, that makes sense. I mean, you can feel like waterboarded by like Glenn and Sydney Sweeney, and it's just like enough, but if that's what people want. And I do want to ask you one more question, then we will get into some celeb gossip. We're recording with you basically on a black screen, so you don't show your face, you're anonymous. Do you have a dating life? Are you in a relationship, and does that person know who you are and what you do?
Well, I did write a book in 2022. It's called Anon Please. So it's been out for a few years now, but it is based on the inception of Deux Moi, the account, and my life, my personal life around that time. And I did at that time meet someone through the account who I started a romantic relationship with, who I met literally in the DMs.
And are you guys still together?
But they didn't know who.
No, they didn't know who I was, but they knew Deux Moi.
And they were like, I just am obsessed with what you do. And I want
they worked in the business. Well, they work in the business and they wanted to like work together.
That is so cool. And so are you guys together?
So, well, it's complicated, but no, the short answer is no. But besides him, no, I haven't really dated because how do I explain this to
That's what we're so curious
We were curious,
about.
How do you go home with somebody's family and they ask questions about what you do and you say, I'm a journalist or I work in media. And then that sounds so cool. So people have more questions about it. Like it's not like I work at some like mid-range tech company.
You can be like, I am actually severed at the brain and I don't know what I do.
I think,
full of severance.
People have asked me the question, like, whether it be, I don't know, if I'm getting my hair done and like the hairdresser asks me, I usually say marketing. Sometimes I say social media, but you know, those people I could just shut off. But to your point, I have thought about like, what do I tell someone? First of all, I would assume that most men my age don't even know what this is. Right.
Okay.
So I, you know, right there, it's like fine. But then to them, it probably sounds stupid and silly.
Yeah. And you're like, hello, no, I'm a huge deal. And you like, don't want to say that.
Well, meanwhile, it like consumes my every moment. Like I can never be unplugged from my phone, you know? So I don't know how I would explain that to anyone. I think that I've stayed attached to the relationship that I've just explained to you because it's been really easy to just be me around this person because he knows everything from the beginning. Like he's sort of been a mentor in a way where he really helped me in the beginning and he still helps me to this day business wise. So it's been really easy for me to just be attached to him, but it's not a good situation. So I do need to detach myself from that situation emotionally and figure out, I don't know, I guess I just say social media and then hope they don't ask any more questions.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing.
Being honest about that. And I mean, I certainly understand the sunk cost fallacy or the feeling of like, well, I've been in this line for so long, you know, and this person understands what I do for work and they understand something I can't really communicate with the rest of the world. I mean, I've dated people like that and been obsessed with people like that, and people know who I am, you know, it's just, you spend so much time like revealing your soul to somebody who you can't reveal it to other people. And like, it's hard to let it go.
Yeah.
Right. No, it totally, like I've called him crying before about, you know, whatever, something that was happening with Deux Moi, and he understood.
Yeah.
You know, he understands. Like who the hell else would understand that? Like, what are you you're crying about? Like what? Like what?
I really feel for you.
I know.
Like, we should have done this on Girls Gotta Eat on a Monday episode and just been like Deux Moi's dating life. Okay. Well, let's talk about Coachella a little bit.
Yeah, we'll lighten it up. But thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, thank
we
you,
think it's really interesting. And also really want to encourage our listeners to buy your book.
Yeah.
So,
thank you.
It's
been out for a long time. Yeah.
Okay.
But thank you. It was very hard to promote it because I couldn't do anything in person.
You could be like a book tour. You could be like Sia, just kind of.
I mean,
or Dead Mouse. You could just like wear a big...
I don't know. I feel like there's definitely ways that we could have been more creative about it, but I didn't really promote it at all. So I think that my audience only knew about it from my Instagram. But yeah,
our audience loves books, and they like beg us for book recs. So you guys go get this book.
Oh, Anon, please. Yeah.
Okay.
Anon, please. All right, well, let's talk about what's happening. I mean, I will obviously ask you about Taylor and Travis in a little bit, but let's get into Coachella. First weekend of Coachella has wrapped. We're going into the second weekend of Coachella. Ashley and I did not go this year, but what are you seeing? What are you feeling about week one?
I mean, I feel like the celebrities that have been spotted have all been, you know, no-brainers. It's the people that are there every year. Hailey Bieber, Justin Bieber, Kylie, Kendall, Timothy was with Kylie, Leonardo DiCaprio, Paris Hilton. I'm trying to think about who else.
The cast of White Lotus. I mean, the most center to watch Lisa.
Yes,
Patrick
White Lotus.
Schwarzenegger was there. I didn't see any other cast. Oh, Lisa.
Guy Talk.
Lisa.
Guy Talk was there. I forget his name.
Oh, he was?
It's a good name. You should look it up. I don't want to like butcher it. It's a very cool name.
I was talking to Tessa, who works with us right before this, and like what I look forward to so much with Coachella is the fashion and seeing what people are going to wear. And I felt really let down this year. I just felt like Kendall wore a sundress. Kylie just wore like a white crop tee. Timothy looked like he was going to summer camp. Like I was disappointed by the fashion, except for like the Revolve girlies, which like they look the same all the time. Yeah. And Julia Fox.
You know, I don't know their mindset, but my opinion on what they might be thinking is to dress up. Not like a Julia Fox, because Julia Fox always brings it, and she has her very own unique sense of style. But to dress in festival wear is cringe, maybe to them.
Okay.
So they're sort of like anti-festival wear, and that's what we're seeing from them.
That's makes so much sense. They're like, we invented festival wear and then it became mainstream and now we're going to wear the sundress. I will say though, the most unexpected celebrity for me was Bernie Sanders, and that was not on my bingo card. And I was like, he is starting his influencer career at 83 and you love to see it. It's been like living rent free all week. So that was something different, I guess, for Coachella.
Anything else? Any other like gossip or celeb stuff that came across your desk?
No, not really. I mean, listen, I think that all the crazy stuff happens in, in the after parties that are held in the private homes. So I don't think that you're going to see anything crazy, on the grounds, maybe in the VIP tent. Now, I did have people who were in the VIP area message me, and it was just sightings. It wasn't anything crazy. Somebody said that they went up to Louis Tomlinson, from One Direction, and asked for a cigarette, and he said no while he was smoking a cigarette. And like it was like silly stuff like that. Somebody was behind Kylie and Timothy as they were walking into Charlie XCX, and they heard Timothy say, "Yeah, we're going to Brat Town." Like just like silly stuff like that people were messaging me. It wasn't anything crazy that I think people want to hear. I don't have that kind of information. Sorry.
I think you're right, though. I think it's it's the same cast of people as the Kardashians. It's the Vanderpump cast. It's a lot of Bachelor people. It's the Revolve girlies, and that was kind of on that.
Well, let's talk about Taylor and Travis.
Yes, so I have to tell you, I've gone in waves with this, and I was like, it's too much. I don't care, and now I miss them. So, have you gotten sight? Like, where have they been? What's happening?
Yeah, I mean, I've gotten some sporadic sightings. I've also gotten some fake sightings because her fan base is so, so, so crazy, like to a point of being mentally unstable, I think sometimes.
I saw you got fake sightings. So let's talk about it.
They send in fake sightings. So
for what purpose? Like, just,
I don't
because it's anonymous. Like, just
I think to prove that some sightings that I have posted that clearly weren't fake aren't her. They do come up with theories that there's body doubles. I know it sounds it's crazy to have a conversation with two smart, intelligent women and saying these words, but it's true. But as far as where they have been seen that have not been fabricated, literally all around the United States. They've been seen in New York. They've been seen in Montana. They've been seen in Kansas City. Travis has been seen in Florida. That was the last place he was seen.
That makes sense for him.
Yeah, he's been playing golf. He's been training. And she's been working on new music. And from what I heard from a person who is not a troll, is that they are really just staying private right now.
Well, football season's over and the Eras Tour is over. Like it was just, we had how many years? We had 2 full years of Eras Tour, them being together, and then this 2 Super Bowls. Like this would seem like the time for them to chill. So
I mean, listen,
I don't know.
The paparazzi caught them in New York City, I believe in February, going into Del Frisco's, which if you don't live in New York, it is like a steakhouse.
A chain.
Yeah.
A chain. Yeah. And people were analyzing those pictures to the point where, like I said, they were saying she was a body double. Why isn't she showing her face? Why is she hiding?
She's a clown.
Yeah. It's like, maybe she's off. She's on vacation. She's off.
Yeah,
like maybe she doesn't want to be seen. But no, everything is copacetic in Taylor and Travis land. Yes, they're
It really
good.
reminds me that like people can be as private or public as they want, and like they have chosen to go to the corner store in New York City with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. Like they actually can have a private life if they so choose, but they go out with these celebrities to these big hotspots like via Corona with Gigi Hadid, and like of course it's a media storm, and if they choose to not be so public, they actually can. I just always wonder, like, you don't see a lot of like Jay-Z and Beyonce getting like papped going to restaurants. Like, you don't see a lot of this with huge celebrities. Like, they do sort of put themselves out there to be photographed.
Well, I think that she is very aware, and she feeds her fans with those photos. She knows what she's doing. If you look at those photos where She's walking from the car to the door to the car. She's posing. Every step is a pose.
Right.
You know what I mean? And she's dressed from head to toe in a look. That is her opportunity to say, here I am. I'm here. This is what I'm doing this particular night. But when she doesn't want to be seen, she makes sure she's not. And that's her right. People need to chill out a little bit. It gets a little crazy when they aren't photographed as much. I don't know why. People just need to use their common sense skills, which are clearly lacking on the internet. And just realize that they're off. They're off. They're both off.
is not a Swiftie, if you guys can't tell.
I mean, I'm not a Swiftie, but I'm not a Swiftie. I'm just, I'm just existing.
I think we all can agree there's top level craziness far into the spectrum. And we love Taylor Swift too. Yeah.
So I have a question for you. So I feel like my constant news cycle is also like Justin, Haley, Selena, and it's nonstop. And I feel like he had a relationship with this girl for a long time. They broke up. He married another person. Like, how much of this is like manufactured continuously by other people, and most of this is just not news?
I would say 100%. Well, actually, that's not true, because there are things that have happened online over the past 5 years that I've been doing this that we've all seen. We've all been witness to. The first thing was which I call eyebrow gate. Do you remember that?
Of course. Oh my God. That was one of my, I don't care that much about them, but I cared about that.
Right. So I didn't
it's just so like, I don't know, trivial.
It's like middle school, but it did create like a shitstorm. And who's to say that they weren't making fun of Selena? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Do I think that all celebrities do things online to, sort of egg on and bait these fans? Yes, 100%. They know the reaction that they're going to get. They're not stupid.
Okay, that's a good point. Which I sometimes I'm just like, is all of this just drummed up nonsense? But they do drop some Easter eggs to drum up shit.
100%.
Yeah, to stay relevant, stay in the news.
Stay relevant. I think that at the end of the day, that people have to remember that this is a business, and any traffic that you're sending their way equals dollar signs, whether it be positive or negative. You know what I mean? The money going into their bank, it doesn't matter that it's coming from negative publicity or positive publicity. It doesn't know the difference. It's still getting deposited either way. And that's what happens when these big things happen online. They get more attention, which equals more exposure, which equals more clicks, which equals, who knows, more sales.
That kind of brings us to Blake Lively. Do you think that applies across the board? Because I feel when I think of Selena, Justin, Haley, I agree with you completely that it's just a kind of all press is good press thing. I don't think everything that's happened over the years would affect their business. In fact, it would
drive people to beauty.
It would grow the business. But I think what we've seen is Blake Lively is a real rejection, which does it translate into her hair care line, everything else she's doing. So we were just curious about your thoughts on them, the whole triangle, Justin, Blake, Ryan.
Blake Lively had a very specific reputation prior to filming It Ends With Us that people in the industry knew about, that I've even reported on years ago before this movie was even being. Yeah. So her behavior, I'm not talking about the alleged hijacking of the film or her allegations towards Justin Baldoni. I'm just talking about her sort of being, I don't know how to describe it, difficult, a little bit of a diva, maybe a little bit of a know-it-all. That was nothing new. You know, that is behavior that has allegedly exhibited before. So I feel like she didn't know what she was getting herself into. I mean, maybe she thought that she could get away, as she has for so many years, because as I'm saying, her reputation isn't new with acting a certain way. And this time he wasn't going to let her get away with it, especially since it was a movie that he was so involved in, as being the producer and the director. So I think she bit off more than she could chew. I don't think she realized she was going to get this kind of backlash. I mean, she was Serena van der Woodsen, for Christ's sakes. You can't, get more loved than that, I feel like, especially on social media prior to It Ends With Us.
Well, and you can be bitchy and have these reputations and people can still be okay with it. But when people think that you're a liar and you're completely inauthentic, I think it can all come crashing down.
Right. Like, that's what I'm saying. I mean, I want to be clear. The rumors that I had heard about her before were nothing to the level that we've heard involved, with her involvement in this Justin Baldoni lawsuit and the things that she's alleged against him. It never got to that. But I still think that maybe she had a certain sense of self-importance.
Yeah.
Because
totally.
Because she never got called out for her shit. Like I'm saying, like she was Serena Vanderwoods and she was Ryan Reynolds' wife. I don't think
they're so funny,
Right. They're so funny. They're so witty. Like, and I don't think that people really realize how powerful and how much money they had prior to this.
Yes. And also, Ashley and I say all the time, we don't want to just come down on Blake Lively. Justin Baldoni seems terrible also. Like, they both seem to have contributed to this collectively. We don't want to just slam her.
Yeah, no, I don't know. I always go back and forth. I don't know.
But her behavior seems bad.
I don't know what I'm feeling today.
I think that we need to wait. I think we need to wait, and I've said this from the beginning. I think we need to wait until the trial comes and we see all of the information presented before us, not in piecemeal from one side and then the other side attacking. I've been accused of being paid by Blake Lively's team to support her.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Well, then there's that. Yeah. And on the other side too, people accuse from being paid on the other, like I've seen a lot of that narrative.
Oh yeah. But I've been strictly accused of being paid by Blake's team. I'm sorry, being paid, yes, by her team to support her, where I've said everything I've said to you publicly. Yeah. People just, if you don't come out and say Blake Lively is a fucking liar and poor Justin Baldoni, then you automatically support Blake. And I didn't do that because I want to see all of the evidence presented. In front of me.
All right. I have to run. It's a long story. Our audience sort of knows, but this was wonderful talking with you. I'm going to leave you alone with Raina.
And we're going to talk about Bravo for 2 hours.
Yeah. And have fun. And thank you for everything. This was wonderful.
Actually, get out of here. I want to talk about Bravo.
All right. Bye, guys.
Let's pivot to the Bravo sphere because I'm so obsessed. What are you seeing out of the Bravo sphere? Are we starting new Vanderpump? What are you seeing about the Valley? Anything about the Valley right now? I mean, obviously Brittany Cartwright just gave this big interview about her son having autism. She stays hating Jax, which I love.
I mean, God bless her for even putting up with that man at all. But no, I only hear about new shows that are on the horizon as far as housewife franchises. I've heard Chicago is in the works. I've heard Rhode Island is in the works. I've heard that somebody from another cast is joining the Rhode Island cast. If that show, I don't know if they started filming. I don't know if it's in development. I don't know if it's just a concept. I have no idea. I saw with my own eyes that a Rhode Island franchise was, concepted with another member from another cast, from a cast I haven't even said it like this, but I'll tell your audience. Do you have a big Bravo audience?
Yeah, I mean, we have a whole audience of girly pops, so yes.
A whole audience of girly pops. I love that. Yeah. So it's somebody from a franchise that's currently on pause.
So I think it's really interesting that these franchises are on pause and you're seeing there's a new show on Bravo as well. And several of the kids of the housewives are going to be this New York City. Gia Giudice is on it. And is it Kenya Moore's daughter or son?
Yes. Her daughter. No, not Kenya Moore, Candy.
So you're seeing a lot of these spinoffs. And do you feel like people are just kind of done with these older franchises? Is this type of television on the way out and people are ready? Like, can somebody be on reality TV for 15 years and still feel like fresh and not so angry? I mean, these franchises feel like we've beaten each other up to death and we have to move on to new ones.
Well, this is what happens. I mean, look at what happened with New York. Everybody was bitching about New York and then they recast the whole thing. And now everyone's nostalgic for the old days.
I know.
So it's almost like be careful what you wish for. As far as New York, I know that they are holding auditions for new cast members. I don't know exactly who's leaving. I have an idea of who I think might be leaving. And it is rumored that Lindsay Hubbard.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, that's a rumor that is, I don't know if they think it because she was pictured attending Abe and Erin's new baby's brisk. She was at the brisk. So I don't know if that's why they think it or if it's viable, but I would love to see her on Housewives.
I mean, listen, I've talked shit on her and her performance on Summer House, but truly she is some of the best television. She brings it. No one works harder than her to break up during a season, be pregnant during a season. But like, I could not be in a summer house with these kids. I don't party like I used to. It has nothing to do with like being a mom. Moms can party, but like at my age, I can't be partying with these people. I would have to pivot franchises.
Right, exactly. But also, aren't they sort of aging out of partying too?
The Summer House people?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I think for me to be like Kyle Cook or Lindsay Hubbard, the OGs of Summer House, Carl's sober. Like, how are you still hanging out in this summer house with these kiddos?
Right. So I agree with you 100% and think it would be amazing if we saw her on Housewives of New York City.
I think so too. I think she would like revitalize the franchise. I mean, a lot of these people were kind of thrown together. And she does seem to be at least friends with a couple of those people. So I would love that.
Same. And she doesn't take shit from anybody. Like that cast needs a little bit of, like electric shock. Like they need to be, they're just different, I guess. They're different. I watched the whole season. Like, don't get me wrong. I was glued to season 1 and 2 of the new New York, but it's just not like the old ladies.
No, I mean, listen, I'm in the same camp. I complained about the old New York for so long, and now like I kind of miss these batshit crazy ladies.
Yeah, I know. So I think that Lindsay knows how to, like you said, make good television, and she could bring a little bit of that batshit back. So.
Hell yes. Okay, love it. Before I let you go, any other hot, crazy tea that you're like dropping this week? Anything you're really into right now? Anything at all?
Gosh, I'm trying to. The things that everyone always asks me what I'm into, and it honestly never has anything to do with celebrity gossip. It's like the Chinese tariffs and and the did you see that kid influencer documentary on Netflix?
Yeah, it was hard to get through. I watched
very hard.
I watched 1.5 episodes, and I really it's hard to see what these kids were put through and just the amount of work that they were being forced to do, and it's tough to watch.
Yeah, so those are the things that I'm personally into. But as far as dropping like any big bombs, I mean, when does this episode come out?
2 days, Thursday.
Okay, so I'm about to post some pictures, exclusive paparazzi pictures of Diana Agron. Looks like she has a new guy. She's like, I don't know if your audience were big Glee fans.
Tessa's nodding her head, yes.
Okay. She's just spotted on the streets of New York City. You could check the feed. Today's Tuesday. They'll be posted as soon as I get off this Zoom. He's a mystery man, it says. It looks like she split from her boyfriend. So that was like literally the latest thing that's come through. I'm also still trying to figure out what went down between Amy Lou Wood and Walton Goggins.
People say they had an affair, right? On the set of White Lotus.
Yes. But that's not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to how the media is writing these headlines, calling it now a feud. I don't think that they were feuding. I think that filming wraps. He obviously is really enamored with her.
Yeah.
I mean,
aren't we all?
Right. He's publicly, I feel like, expressed that. And I think she just had to like cut it off. Okay. And that's why she unfollowed him or blocked him. Some believe that she blocked him.
Oh my God.
Not only unfollowed. Yeah. Because, and I said to the fans, why do you think she blocked rather than unfollowed? And they said, because some of her comments disappeared from
my God.
Instagram posts. Like you don't understand. The fans are they figure everything out. I mean, I don't know if that's true. I didn't check it because I wasn't following him prior. But
women are the FBI.
Right. If that is true and she blocked him, then my theory of like him becoming a little bit too into the whole, Chelsea Rick dynamic is what I think. I don't think it's a feud.
Okay.
Is my point. Yeah.
That was a great way to wrap it up. I mean, we hit everything. White Lotus, Taylor, Bravo, all of it. I mean, you have been such a pleasure. I could keep you forever. But I really want to encourage people to buy your book, Anon, please. Listen to your podcast, Do You, and obviously your Instagram all the time.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me. It was great meeting you.
This is such a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, we hope you guys enjoyed this episode of The Snack with this special interview. And you guys can find us at girlsgottaeat.com, Girls Gotta Eat Podcast on Instagram and TikTok. I'm Ash Hess. Raina is Raina.Greenberg. Subscribe on YouTube. Share this episode with a friend, and we will see you Monday.
Have a great weekend, guys.
Bye.